Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Here we will go into John Dayton's XRP insider purchases, and the court punishments imposed on his opinion from the SEC. Alright, let's begin. Here is how the initial news item starts. The court is threatening to punish the SEC for lying, and Dayton is reacting. John Dayton, a well-known attorney, explains why the courts have kept holding the SEC accountable for deceiving XRP holders. In response to a federal judge's threat to reprimand the SEC's attorneys in the action against the cryptocurrency project Debtbox, attorney John Dayton has gone on the X platform. On November 30th, Judge Robert Shelby cautioned the SEC attorneys involved in the Debtbox case that they risk sanctions if they persuade a court to seize the company's assets using deceitful and false pretenses, with the hope of obtaining a preliminary injunction. Claiming to be terminating accounts and transferring monies out of the U.S., Debtbox was accused by the SEC. Despite this, the SEC remained silent on the topic of banks closing Debtbox accounts. Also overlooked by the regulator was the fact that the money went to a credit union rather than an international account. The company's bank accounts were frozen in August after the SEC filed a claim with a federal court. The Debtbox provided evidence that the SEC had misled in order to get the restraining order. The court nullified the decree. When asked about the new information, Judge Shelby said that the SEC's deceit damaged Debtbox irreparably and tainted the credibility of the court processes. Thus, the judge warned of sanctions against the SEC as the case's attorneys criticized the agency for dishonesty. In response, Attorney Dayton stated that all three courts that have dealt with the SEC in the previous 3 years have accused it of lying. As per Dayton, whoever thought it was surprising that a federal judge dared to reprimand the SEC for lying clearly hasn't been paying attention for the last 3 years. Reading the entire essay would be too time-consuming for me. I can read it to you if you'd like. Here are a couple of tweets that came from it. Now I will go on to the discussion and emphasize the key topics. I understand. Legal expert John Dayton explains how the SEC's handling of cryptocurrency cases is increasingly being reviewed by the courts in light of recent developments in a case involving Debtbox. There are multiple reasons why these changes merit attention. In the Debtbox case, which was also discussed in yesterday's video, the SEC faced accusations of manipulating the court to seek a temporary injunction or of taking a strong and possibly disproportionate strategy to enforcement in the cryptocurrency space. I have already said this. Reason being, the pattern holds true for SEC cases as well. Everything in the news is related. From there, the remarks remain unchanged until something changes, for better or ill. It is noteworthy that the court is contemplating imposing sanctions on the SEC for deception. This demonstrates that the court is not only keeping a careful eye on the SEC's tactics, but is also prepared to bring them to account for any activities that could be seen as deceptive or inappropriate. A lot of people in the cryptocurrency industry feel the same way about the SEC's actions, and Attorney Dayton's reply shows that. It raises questions about the SEC's strategy and tactics in regulating cryptocurrencies if the courts keep accusing them of alleged misrepresentations. The SEC's credibility and ability to effectively handle digital assets could be compromised as a result of this. This is further highlighted by the 4 cases that Alder Rohde, Ripple's general counsel, cited. The judiciary has questioned the SEC's approach in several ways, as seen in each case. These include its hypocrisy, its conflicting arguments, and its failure to comply with the responsibility to reply in good faith, among other things. Such a judicial rebuke should make the SEC reconsider how it regulates the dynamic Bitcoin industry. These changes have major ramifications for the Bitcoin market as a whole. Increased volatility and uncertainty in the cryptocurrency markets could result from the SEC being seen as unduly aggressive or inconsistent in its regulatory operations. Concerns about an unpredictable or unfriendly regulatory climate among businesses and investors have the ability to dampen innovation. All things considered, these changes herald a turning point in the regulation of cryptocurrencies. They highlight how important it is for the SEC to regulate in a more fair, open, and uniform manner. Not only will this method keep the law intact, but it will also help the following flourish. Pro XRP news specialist says she won't buy XRP based on insider info. Attorney John Deaton has stated categorically that he did not have insider knowledge when he decided to purchase additional XRP following legal action against Ripple in 2020. Many XRP holders were afraid for the cryptocurrency's future, which led to a sharp drop in its price. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has sued Ripple and its leaders, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, after classifying XRP as a securities. But crypto-focused attorney John Deaton bought more XRP during the dip, certain that Ripple will win the case. Now John Deaton has clarified that his decision was not influenced by any insider information and has once again defended it. A purported cryptocurrency investor had accused the lawyers of engaging in insider trading by suggesting that their acquisition of XRP was inappropriate. Deaton was responding to this accusation. Per ex-user Symbio, insider trading would have occurred if Deaton had purchased XRP when the case was already decided. If the attorney truly believed that Ripple would win the lawsuit, then the outcome would have been predetermined. According to Deaton, there was no confidential information. Despite this, Ripple has triumphed over the SEC on multiple occasions and had litigation against its executives dropped. Many were surprised by the result, as Deaton points out. The notion that XRP would be considered a security was actually argued for by numerous more seasoned securities attorneys who said that Ripple would not have an obvious win. Though he faced opposition from the majority, Deaton persisted in his belief that Ripple and the XRP army would ultimately prevail. One prominent stance in the intricate relationship between litigation and investing choices in the cryptocurrency market is John Deaton's explanation of his choice to purchase additional XRP following Ripple's lawsuit in 2020. In the cryptocurrency industry, where market sentiment is susceptible to changes in regulations and laws, Deaton's contention that his decision was grounded in his legal analysis and beliefs, rather than insider information, is vital. Nevertheless, the insider trading charge is dependent on whether Deaton possessed non-public material information regarding Ripple's legal prospects. It is equally important to know how insider trading differs from informed speculation. It was a daring move for Deaton to invest during this slump, thinking Ripple would win a lawsuit, because the market is sensitive to regulatory action, and the price of XRP dropped significantly after the SEC complaint. His unwavering belief in his grasp of the XRP and SEC's legal situation is evident. Importantly, I would suggest that you follow Deaton's lead and wager on the conclusion of Ripple's legal proceedings. This is a typical occurrence in the cryptocurrency market. When the regulatory and legal landscape is constantly changing, like it is with many cryptocurrencies, this becomes much more apparent. Now let's move on to the graph. Bitcoin is approaching its previous drop-off point and has recently updated its local high, as I mentioned in the prior video. The local highs of several coins, XRP included, have not even been updated. Plus, they can eventually overtake Bitcoin, so they have hope. However, this does not imply that you should get on the bandwagon for the entire cutlet just yet. What is important is that you mark the levels that you will need to enter once you have broken through them. It is also worthwhile to identify the support levels at the bottom of the chart, since these can be entered through corrections. You should not lose your composure and throw yourself into it. These market corrections can be extremely forceful. Short squeezes, which will be covered later on, can also occur. You shouldn't risk losing your initial investment on these movements, because people who open positions impulsively are shook out. The future of our timeframe can be discussed now. Following an enormous 11% squeeze, a situation in which only the large shadow of a candle remains at either the bottom or the top, XRP has only partially recovered from its decline and is currently trading below the 0.6204 level that I have been mentioning, confirming its significance as a crucial level. To get back up, we have to consolidate above it. The general trend is upward, but we must patiently await Bitcoin's consolidation and the end of its rising dominance, as the cryptocurrency is currently trading at a relatively high 54.3%, If you're wondering what happens next, we may expect a return to 0.6336, a continuation into the 0.6455 to 0.6513, and, after consolidation, a probable move to 0.6639 to 0.6745, up to 0.7166. This is a list of goals for the medium term. Moving on to the topic of supports, this squeeze has already worked 0.61173 times and has broken through all of the nearby levels. I think it's risky. Also, it's possible, though unlikely, that it will cause a local bounce. Up until 0.5293, the only ones I can think of are 60,430, 595, 10577, 7, and so on. Entry points, albeit with limited volumes for the time being, can also be considered from these. It is raining now, so be careful. The review has come to a close. Everything will fall into place flawlessly if you wait until the highs come before you plunge in. Today, we went over the SEC once more. I filled you in on the current market scenario, and we talked about John Deaton and the suspicions surrounding him. Will Bitcoin continue its ascent to 44,000 or will it pause here? Is it possible for XRP to complete its medium-term goals? Please share your responses in the comments section. See you later, bye.